14-year-old Hikaru Nakamura plays an incredible move with his bishop, which leads to a fork with the knight, which is a check, and it also leads to the capture of his queen. So let's see what happens in the game. So Hikaru is playing Deep Sengupta, and Hikaru is 14 years of age, and Deep Sengupta is of 13 years of age. But even at that particular point of time, these players are very good. So, and both of them are rated around 2300 to 2400, around that rating in FIDE. So, knight to f6, this is a Sicilian that is being played by Hikaru. Sicilian defense, the Reggio variation is on the board right now. So, after a6, which prevents the knights and the bishop from coming into this crucial b5 square, the bishop to g5 move is played by Deep Sengupta, and the pawn push of e6, allowing the bishop to come in and cutting off that pin will happen. And after that, queen comes to d2, and the bishop goes to e7, and f3 by white, and knight to d7 by Hikaru, and immediately white castles on the queen side, and during Sicilian we mostly castle on the king side. So we are looking at a very attacking game. And after that, Hikaru places his queen to c7, which is a typical move to place your queen in Sicilian, and immediately a queen side attack is launched by white, by deep. So g4 is played, and immediately Hikaru castles on the king side. So after that, h4 is played. Now both the pawns are already on the fourth rank, getting ready to attack the king. And Hikaru pushes his first pawn to b5, and after that, the bishop captures the f6 knight, and the knight captures back, and immediately a pawn is pushed attacking the knight over there. So the knight again had to retrieve to d7. So again the pawn pushed to h5. So Deep Sengupta is playing quite well at this particular point of time. But Hikaru creates a counter attack by pushing his pawn to b4, pushing that knight away, and then he brings his other knight into the game, knight to c5, and which leaves this particular pawn hanging for this queen to take, basically. But the queen didn't go for the capture and moves to e3. So now the bishop goes to b7, connecting both the rooks of Hikaru on the back rank and also placing the bishop in the diagonal. And rook now comes to d2, and queen goes to a5, getting ready for the attack and also to capture this pawn over here. And g6, white just pushes forward with his attack and pushes g6 here. So Hikaru do not go ahead and for the capture of the pawn. He just let white to play his move so that he will get maximum time to for the counter attack and also to keep his king safe. And then he plays this bishop to g5 move. So you'll be wondering what will happen. This is an unprotected bishop, and if you capture this, what will happen? So in the game, instead of capturing f4 was pushed, but if you capture this bishop with your queen, immediately a check will happen like this, a discover check with the knight. And after the knight is captured, your queen will be gone, basically. And also there's a pin on the rook here as well. So that's why this bishop cannot be captured by the queen. So instead, the pawn push of f4 is played, and the bishop goes back to h6, keeping the pressure on the queen and on the rook and also on the king. A crucial dark square diagonal for black to attack and white to defend here as well. So white just captures the pawn on h7, and instead of capturing the pawn immediately back, Hikaru goes to h8. So this allows him to keep his king safe for a little bit more while, because this pawn here acts as a shield for from white's pieces, because white cannot capture its own pieces. So the king moved to h8, and after that the bishop to g2, and the pawn at a2 is captured by Hikaru. Now after that, the rook comes to g1, and threatening to capture this pawn over here and to create an attack on the g7 square. And Hikaru just brings his rook to c8 here, and after that e5 by white, and then Hikaru plays he just, because of the opening of the pawn here, the bishop was threatened, so the bishops get exchanged first and get captured first. So instead of taking with his other rook, Hikaru white captures with his with this rook, which was helping this which was guarding some important squares over here. So that mistake actually costed allows Hikaru to play this move. He captures the uh, pawn like this. So this bishop here is not under any support. So if the queen can capture this bishop back, but you will immediately see what will happen in the game if the queen captures this pawn, this bishop back. Even either way, you will lose your queen. So I'll just show you what happens. So once the uh, bishop is captured, the knight will jump to d3 with a check, and because this pawn is pinned here, it cannot capture. The rook move earlier was especially for that move, and basically after because it's a check, the king had to move. Let the king moves here, and it's captured. The queen is basically captured here. So yes, you can create a counter attack or a play like this or something like that, and but these the rooks here protect uh, black's king quite well, and because of the presence of this pawn here, and there's nothing much that can be done on the hedge file as well, and even if you do this, you can just capture this knight like this, and once it goes over here, you'll again start losing pieces over here. So that was the game. So Hikaru won this match. So a very nice position, a nice fork with a check, and the queen is gone basically. So to play this when you are 14 years of age is truly remarkable. Hikaru is close to 2,500 NFIDE rating at this particular point of time, and his opponent was close to 2,300 rating. So these are no minor players on the board. So a beautiful game. So thanks very much for watching. We'll be back with more such videos of Hikaru and other great players on our channel. So if you haven't followed or subscribed yet, please do so. We'll be posting more videos in the future as well. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon.